Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 41 of One Credit Classics. Back in the arcades yet again, a big run of arcade games we've had of late. We had Contra, and even at the end of the last season there was a lot of arcade titles. For me personally, the arcades are at the heart of some of my greatest gaming experiences, and when I look at progress runs and new games that I want to play, games kind of jump out at me, games that were a part of me kind of growing up and playing video games, and the magic that was the arcade era for anybody who was there is something that it's just so hard to kind of overlook and not want to kind of be a big part of. We're going to be taking a look today at Captain America and the Avengers, a game that came out in the arcades in 1991 in a number of formats. It's by Data East. Came out in a 4-player cabinet version, which was quite rare, and a 2-player version. The 4-player version had specific characters that you could pick on per joystick, like with most designated multiplayer cabs. The 2-player one was just a standard. 9 times out of 10 when you saw it was just a standard video wizard box or something like that with a character select option. This came out on the NES in 91, Genesis 92, SNES 93, and Game Gear and Game Boy 93 and 94. It was designed by a guy called Hidenobu Ito, and the composers for the music were Shigo Satai and a guy called Tatsuya Kichi. Really iconic in a lot of respects, this beat 'em up, because Data East had a lot of stuff going on at the time. And it was one of the first beat 'em ups that I played that really tried to combine a couple of elements, because there's elements of scrolling shoot 'em ups, almost spaceship kind of shoot 'em ups that you'll see in certain levels. The SNES version was actually developed by a different team, a team called Real Time Associates, and was published by Mindscape. That was also the same developing team who did the Game Gear and the Game Boy. There's 4 characters as you've seen there. There's Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man, and the Vision. And all the characters have got what's called an Avenger attack. So you've got 2 buttons, you've got punch and you've got jump. And if you press them both at the same time, you're doing an Avenger attack. And you can do that as many times as you want. Each character's got a special one. Captain America throws a shield. Hawkeye fires arrows, as you might imagine. And the Vision and Iron Man fire lasers. The plot is to stop the evil Red Skull from taking over the world. He builds this big laser. And as you can see here, the 4-player kind of option. This is obviously a 4-player cab, the version that I'm playing. Enemies that you'd see that feature later in the game are a lot of popular ones from kind of the Captain America, the Avengers, the Marvel kind of canon, really. People like Claw, Living Laser, Whirlwind, Juggernaut, Mandarin, Ultron, all these kind of characters, really. And it all adds up for a really kind of fun, kind of addictive adventure in a lot of respects. My history with this game is quite a cool one, really. When I used to go to high school, when I used to walk home, there was an arcade on the way home, and that had all the latest games in and stuff, and it was all really cool. But also, as so often you found in these kind of settings, there was a chip shop that had a cabinet in, and they used to rotate the games out. And there was myself and a friend of mine called Ian Postle, very good friend of mine. I still speak to him to this day. He's a good human being, and he's not long had a kid. So congratulations on that, my friend. I'm sure you'll be a cracking dad. We used to walk home kind of together to the bus station, and then we'd get kind of the same bus 9 times out of 10, because it'd stop at my house and then go off to his. And we'd walk through Longton, and what happened would be, like, my mum usually would give me enough money to get home from school, because there was a bus direct from school. But if you walked from school to Longton, the bus was like 20p cheaper or something ridiculous like that, and 20p was just enough, as luck would have it, for 1 credit on whatever machine that you fancied playing. And when we walked up past the arcade one day, we walked into this chip shop to see what machine they had, and they had a Captain America and the Avengers machine, and I'd never seen it before, and it became such a big part of that kind of, I want to say it probably was 91, 92 kind of walking home from school. I think we only ever beat it once, and I can't even remember how. I think we might have, like, I don't know what happened. I swear we had like a 50p or a quid each or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we had like 7 credits each. I was always Vision, and he was always Iron Man, and I still remember beating it, and playing through this and doing the progress runs has really kind of brought all that back. It's really been quite cool. But just the whole kind of everything related to this game that I play has got kind of some kind of special place, really. There's kind of loads of little in-jokes that are kind of amazed the fact that I still laugh at. Do you know what I mean? Like 26, 25 years later. But Captain America and the Avengers was one of those games that I wanted to do right from the start. But the problem was I had a lot of trouble with emulation until I downloaded the latest version of MAME64, and I found out that there was an updated ROM set that I could download, and I downloaded that, and one of the first things I tried was this, and it worked perfectly. I was made up, because I thought, right, and I better get my head around playing this. But yeah, me and Ian, we'd walk down to this chip shop, and never buy any chips, and just go in there and have a couple of games on Captain America: The Avengers, most days really. But it's just, it remains to me, it'll always have kind of a, I think I had, if you're talking 91, 92 maybe, we probably both had Commodore Amigas, I would have thought. We had Master Systems first, and then we had Commodore Amigas. So I mean, it was still that point where what you were getting in the arcade was miles away from what you could get in the home. The year after, I remember I had a SNES. I had a SNES early '93, I want to say. January, February '93. And then that obviously that changed everything. But I just remember kind of that 91, 92 time when anything I could play in the arcades was miles away from anything that I had the ability to play at home. And this was just one of those games that I really loved. And never forget, I think we beat it on a Friday, or Thursday or Friday, because I remember the next week we went back to play it again, and they changed the machine. They changed it to Thundercross 2 quite randomly, and we didn't play it, and we just ended up getting on the bus dead dejected. I remember just walking past like the chip shop being like, well, what are we gonna do now? But the weird thing was then, like, how would I ever play that game again? It wasn't out on the home consoles, and what, you're going to ring up an arcade? How would you even find out? Like, this, people, you take this for granted now, the fact that you can just go on a Google and put something in. You just couldn't do that now. Like, I didn't know how many Captain America and the Avengers machines there were in the UK. I could, if I was hedging my bets, I could go to a big arcade and see if they had a machine. But even then, there's no guarantees. Do you know what I mean? Like, you do kind of, I take this for granted now, but you do kind of forget that, because we've got the internet, that there hasn't always been that ability to just find information out. You had to kind of you had to try and find it. And if you couldn't find it, then, well, what were you? You didn't have any. You couldn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? And so when that machine went, there was a genuine sense of sadness for me, because I thought to myself, am I ever going to play this again? I didn't. And as it happened, I never actually got the SNES version. I don't know why. I just think it was one of those games that I never had the money, but it was never in a shop at the time when I was looking to swap stuff out. It's weird, really, because looking at it now, I can't believe that it didn't. A couple of friends of mine had the Genesis version, and they said it really wasn't very good at all. Like I say, I can't comment because I never really played it. But then, like, the beat 'em ups like these, like, you generally tended to see that the SNES versions were a little better. You look at the version of Sunset Riders, it's probably a great example of that. So yeah, that's Captain America and the Avengers. That's a little bit of history for those of you who are still listening and indeed care. But yeah, it's loads of fun. It's loads of fun, and it's a simple premise done very, very, very well. All right. So what I'm going to do is, true to form, I am going to pick the Vision, because I just love how wonderfully campy he is, and he's one of the two characters, him and Iron Man, with a downwards kind of laser attack, which you will see me use quite a lot, which makes the whole thing a lot easier, whereas Captain America and Hawkeye having to pump the joystick, nice, run, to make a running shot. Other thing as well, just before I go, or before we start the clear, there is so much quality English in this, you'll have an absolute field day. But anyhow, enough of my yapping. Thanks to everybody who has commented over the last week and supported the channel and the usual stuff. I've still got one more One Credit Classics mug sitting at home, kind of doing nothing, gathering a bit of dust. So I don't know, I'll figure something out. I don't know what numbers wise we're on. If I'm on like 350 by the time we do this, I'll probably do some kind of competition. And then November last year, Jamie, who does all the artwork for the channel, shout out to my brother, did me like a Christmassy kind of logo with a load of stuff on it. So I'm half tempted. And he did me a Halloween one as well. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Some Halloween mugs. Yeah, that'd be dead, though. I'm thinking of doing something with those designs, really. But I am still kind of talking to a few people about, like, t-shirts and hoodies and patches and all the rest of it. But it's got to be done rightly, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make a load of stuff just for the sake of doing it. But at some point, what I'd like to do is kind of set up a kind of a little shop, really, and just kind of sell the stuff there. Because I just think it'd be cool. Not for anything to kind of make money or anything, because I just like the idea of, like, it being a community, that sense of community that comes with all of this. But yeah, so what we are going to do is the same thing we do in all these games. We're going to try to save the world and try not to die. Let's do it, shall we? Let's go save the world. For this clear, I'll be using Vision. Let's try and read this as fast as it comes. This is a challenge in itself. Okay, here we go. By assembling a team of supervillains, Red Skull seeks to conquer the world. He has used his wealth to assemble his evil team. He has used Mind Control Machine to bring them under his power. Now he controls their every action. Go at once, Avengers, try to crush his evil scheme. You ain't got a chance if you don't know that's coming. Scene 1, The Avengers. So, Vision. I've got Punch, I've got Jump, and the Avenger attack that I've got is this laser, which is absolutely legit. The key to this is not, I'm saying not making any mistakes. That's a ridiculous thing to say, but it's kind of, it's not taking any chances because you haven't got a lot of energy. There are some points where you can get health back later, but it's just taking no chances with bits like that. Try to get a can of Coke to chuck at someone. Oh, it's the first sub-boss. And a cracking bit of English. Don't disturb us. Why should it goes well? I mean, that's sick, innit? Your priority targets really here are the green guy. They're both pretty hard, to be honest with you, in terms of if they hit. But the green guy, his laser does a lot more damage than so living laser, the green one. He's got that slide, and his laser beam there does quite a bit of damage. So if you can take him out, you're laughing. All Claw does is that punch, and then that hand, if it gets you, just kind of traps you and does like 1 or 2 damage because you can break out of it pretty quickly. So thanks, Quicksilver. Nice, done well there. Right. An essential part of a good Captain America and the Avengers clear is spamming this laser, to be honest with you. Just gonna rock down here because I think there's something here at the bottom, is it? Yep. Done alright there. And there. I'm happy with that. First boss.
You can't escape.
The Hurricane.
You will be the one escaping.
Strategies. Chuck a load of stuff at him. Oh, trying to get it. Don't matter though. It's unlucky really, because it's like right near the end where I actually got caught, but still. I'll try and keep out of the way when he does that. That's the shot. So, if you see now energy-wise, I've got 105, because I started with 100, I got 20, and then he hit me once, which is 15. The whirlwind attack was a setup. Other towns are being taken over. Hurry, Avengers. Just Vision, really. You three stay at the back. Scene 2, Target Town. Right. Do that. See, I made problems for myself there. Scott, really? Block that from behind, did he? Bollocks. That's dangerous. He could go for that. Yeah, I thought it might. Oh, that's nice. That's a good result. Now, on to the bit that makes this game kind of a bit unique. It turns into kind of a spaceship shooter now. If I hold punch, or yeah, punch, I can do it like a shield. And what you get is the old track and field kind of double tap. Because both buttons, punch and jump, both do a laser. So by alternating the buttons, alternating, all the syllables there, alternating the buttons, you can do like a faster stream like that. Now, this boss, or sort of boss, the best way to get around this is just to wait it out. So try and get down here and take these kind of missiles out. Because these missiles, you can't dodge with your invincibility because they're like, well, they're men, aren't they? So, there we go, that's not too bad. And what I need to try and do here is take these laser shooting things out quickly. Done well there. Now, in a little while, you will see an icon with a W turn up. That is an extra character, and that is Wasp, who is really good on this. Makes this next bit dead easy, because I can do the invincibility thing, and if I hold both buttons down, it makes Wasp attack like that. So as long as I'm around about here, there you go. The missiles won't, the shooting missiles won't get me, and the men, I can just kind of take them out. So. And if the Wasp touches anything, it dies, so. Onwards. I think it's a boss now, is it? Yeah, it's a big sentinel. Having Wasp makes this sentinel easier, because what you'll find with Wasp is block a lot of the bullets that come at you. And then you only have to make smaller adjustments to try and take those hands. That's textbook. Obviously, holding punch does the defense mode thing, and you can walk around like that, but you can't actually attack, so. I mean, that was legit, wasn't it? Straight out of range. Quicksilver now, is it? No. Right. Keep moving here. Oh. You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? God almighty, that was lucky. That's your other attack. That it's not very good. Need to go to the back of the screen now. Let's go. Boss time. Grim Reaper, sick speech.
You came here to die.
Sick. Right. Smashes this tree. And then I will get out of the way. He's got a couple of different attack patterns. He'll follow you around like that for a little bit. Just got to try and stay out of his way. Try and set up the diagonal shot. Like that. Now we'll do this one where he'll fire like a laser. Careful here. The thing with him is he closes the distance quite well. He does this one where he just chases after you. Close. There we go, Grim Reaper done. That's a solid performance.
The Avengers.
Oh my, this cup of tea's good as well. Grim Reaper has regained consciousness after being shot in the face 50 times with a laser, and Red Skull has commanded him to fight the Avengers to the finish. What does Red Skull plan next? What? I don't really get. So he woke up after being shot and he was like, well, Red Skull says I've got to carry on. Not really, mate. You've just been heavily concussed. Still, details. Onward, shots. You'd be well happy with that, wouldn't you? Gotta try. The thing with this is, right, is that this is where you mess up your clears. It ain't on boss fights 9 times out of 10. It's on niggling bits like this where these like standard robots just take bits of energy off you. Get that. Just trying to see how many you can. The other thing as well is that you tend to do, which is like a lot of games really of this nature, is that because the basic sprites haven't got that much animation, or they're not that hard for the computer to calculate, you end up scrolling and load on. The wizard! Shut up. Hit him in the head with a rock. I mean, that's hardly a superhero, is it? Oh. Here he is. Dinner plates. There. Crack. Nice. Solid wizard killing skills. Better than Wooten. For the one person who's going to get that joke. But hell, this episode's pretty much aimed at one person. So, the deal with this is, what I need to do is try and hug the bottom. Because those mines are alright. They aren't too much of a problem. If they get too close, they can explode, obviously. But the real problem is those guys. So what you need to do is hug the bottom, because what you find is that they can... the ones that are the problem are the multiple direction ones, which are those ones. You got to take them out quickly. The rest of the ones, it isn't the end of the... Like, they only fire in like one direction, so it's easier to get away with them. Right, boss time. The randomly named Mech Taco. What I need to do... dodge this, and then come back in time to dodge between these lasers. Oh, did well there. Now, this bit is another bit where you've got to be really careful of scrolling stuff on. I'll take that. Very easy to lose a lot of health there. This bit as well. Same. Just keep waiting. Because they just keep coming. Solid. Nice. Cheers, Quicksilver. I want to say there's a Quicksilver bit on every level. It'd be friggin' impossible otherwise. Because there's 5 levels, so that's an extra 100. It's like an extra life, basically. Right, the Mandarin. Cracking speech. So, the key with him. Get a couple of shots off if you can. Because they'll just follow and do that punch thing. That's it. Now, the fire attack is the deadly one. That one, not too bothered about. Because even if it hits you, generally, you can get out of dodge. There you go, straight back out. Here we go. Oh, God. I'm alright here for a bit. Nice, you'd be happy with that. Oh yeah, he's got that jumping attack as well. And like I say, done. That I can pretty much line him up for.
You cannot beat me.
That laugh's sublime. It's ridiculous. So, stage 3 done. The Avengers have located Red Skull. I'm not going to read that. Just pause it when you get the video and then tell me what it says in the comments. This bit, I remember reading this bit though, because he says, the destruction of not only America, but also the world. Stage 4, Scene 4, the giant laser cannon. So that's something of Austin Powers. Right, so in the spaceship. You think it's going to be one of those levels, but you land pretty much straight away. Slowly. Let's go slowly, shall we? Now you notice the sprites are slightly different colour. A vintage bit of palette swapping, indicating you're fighting the same monsters, but they're a bit harder. That's a good shot, and that is. God almighty, chin. Right, slowly but surely with these. Because you can see the mistake you can make now. You go ploughing in there, and you've got like six maybe of those, and 2 of those grabbers, and it's just so easy to get. And this is where you get chipped away. Like it's just a game of inches doing this properly. Is right now. I know there's a boss in a sec, but I'm pretty sure I have to walk on and scroll a load of people on here. Alright for a bit. Bloody hard, I'm going to shoot all them. It's alright though. Oh yeah, you've got a shoulder block. You don't use it very often because it's not super handy, but it's good to get you out of certain spots when there's a lot of people on screen. Right, Juggernaut. Who on this, quite randomly, it just isn't that good, really. I say that, he's probably going to cream me now. But, I think I'm just used to him being ridiculous on Marvel superheroes, to be honest. Oh, God, he got me there. That was a good hit. He's just awkward more than anything. Yeah, I did alright there, I suppose. Right, yeah, scroll them on a little bit. Nice. Once again, slowly but surely with these cats. There's another guy there, you see. You see him? Just the green boots there. Up at the top. This is going to be a tough shot. Oh, F it. Right, a bit at a time. Oh yeah, these things are dead hard to kill. Don't need this. That's the result. More enemies here, is there? Come on. Oh, it's not a boss now. Ultron! I love this bit.
Where is the laser?
What does that even mean? Now, Ultron's difficult because he's got one attack that he'll absolutely spam if you keep hitting him. This one. Let's fire the lasers up in the air, bollocks. I mean, I'm one to talk for, like, spamming attacks. Basically just having ran off this entire fight and spammed in with a laser from the distance, but... Just gonna do that later again, I think. Yep. Did well there. Didn't mean to do that. Lucky, if I'm being honest. Very lucky. Got me. Just get out. Nice. Now, I lost a bit of energy there, but that's the result, because Ultron's really tough.
The Avengers.
The laser cannon has been completed. There's only a short time before the laser is set to fire. Hurry, Avengers! Crush Red Skull's plot. Scene 5. The end of Red Skull. There's so many bosses on this. And there's also a bit of a spaceship level first. Now, I think there might be a couple of Quicksilver energy things on this. Now, what I need to do here is duck lower and try and stay out of it. So, like, about here. Oh, tits. We're alright, we're alright. I'll take that. That was a touch. Right, now. That's it. So handy having Wasp on this bit. Like I say, the shield thing that you can pull defends you against bullets. It doesn't defend you against, like, people crashing into you. Now this one is the laser itself. I need to go back and down a little bit. Because there is... Can take a bit of damage there. A couple of enemies here at the bottom as well. Oh, this bit. Nice. Happy with that. Now, as with all the other stuff, slowly. See how long. It's just a bit where the ground falls. I can't remember. I mean, that's toss. Still do it though. Just got to focus a bit. No. We're alright, we're alright. It's that bit when you get grabbed like... Now, there's more enemies, obviously, but I want to say there's a bit of energy soon. This is a tough fight as well. Got to try and stay within the confines of these little boxes. Oh, tits. It's okay, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's pretty far from ideal, though. There's enemies here, yeah. That's the result. He's done well there, in all fairness. Right, another boss, I think. Oh, this is it. Out of all the stuff you fight in here, the crossbones fight's probably one of the hardest ones. Just because he's got so many really unorthodox attack patterns. Jumps around all over the place. You can really easily get caught. He's a tough cat. Make sure I get that. Oh, I see, he got me there. Gotta make sure I don't land on those mines. There we go. Chuck his office chair at him as well, quite randomly. Right. Stop, Red Skull. Not going to help. Bye, Avengers. Now, this is where it gets kind of a bit tricky. No. Because there's just nowhere to run here. It's alright. Right.
You can't escape.
Get away from this idiot. Right, let's get a cup of tea. Gotta not get greedy on this.
Stupid men. We'll teach you the meaning of justice.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. He's going here. He's going. He's going. He's gone. And that, my friends, is 1 credit as advertised. Get some. Holy crap, that was tense. So much fun, though. Hey, get on. Thank you, Wonder Man. Let's get out of Dodge, shall we? I thought I'd messed it up, if I'm being honest with you. I thought I'd messed it up on the bit at the top of the stairs. I kind of lucked out with that dash attack because I took two out at once, and that seemed to really thin out the amount of people I had on that kind of bit, because I just would have died there normally. And also, if I'm being honest, a fairly flawless Red Skull performance. Waboom! There's not enough waboom going off these days. Oh, there you go, readable text. Thanks to the brave and valiant efforts of our heroes, the Avengers, Red Skull and his evil plan was crushed, and the world could once again breathe easily. But for the Avengers, the battle doesn't end here. Wherever evil exists in this world, they must confront it. Solid. In the name of justice, Avengers unite. Yeah, let's get gone. Cryptic. And that, my friends, is that. It runs through the cast now, I think. Or does it give you the credits? Oh, no, just it. You see, like, Hawkeye and Captain America there with, like, jetpacks on and stuff. They get given those if they do the flying levels. They also get given those if they do the underwater levels. Because obviously Iron Man and Vision can just kind of... don't need oxygen because they... whatever, like, Vision's obviously a robot and Iron Man's just, like, Bill Gates or something with a ridiculous suit. But yeah, this game, once again, when I started playing it, immediately reminded me of everything that I loved about arcades, really. Just one of those kind of, it's just a simple idea done really, really well. And I think sometimes that's all you need. I think sometimes all you need is to take, like, it's not like there wasn't other scrolling beat 'em ups. There was loads of them, especially at that time. I mean, Double Dragon had been out years, and there'd been all kinds of, like, I mean, before Double Dragon, you had Kung Fu Master, Vigilante. Do you know what I mean? You had all these games that had this kind of gameplay element to them. But it's the manner in which this game delivered. It's the fact that it had, like, cool, like, Marvel characters. It's the fact that you had, like, a real difference in playing characters. Like, if you play, like, a Captain America game, it's absolutely solid, if I'm being honest with you. A Hawkeye one as well, although his dash is really good because it goes underneath bullets. So I mean, it's that thing. It's like when you look at the Turtles arcade game, you wouldn't think there's that much difference in who you pick, really, but apart from the obvious one, just of range, there is a real difference in the games that you end up playing with these characters. But yeah, the Avengers was a big part of my kind of like I say, teen years, which are always some of the most influential years in your life, kind of when you look back at them realistically. I look back at, here we go. Nice. Is this the bit where the thingy doesn't quite match the text?
Captain America.
No, it doesn't.
Iron Man.
No, that's Quicksilver. But yeah, like, I harp on about the arcades all the time, and you're probably sick of it, but it's just... Like, I looked at my YouTube demographic the other day, and it's nearly all blokes who are like 35 to 44. If you don't fall in that particular demographic, then hats off to you. Good job for breaking the trend and discovering this merry little corner of the internet. But if you are a bloke between 35 and 44, or anywhere, any close approximation, then every time I harp on about the arcades, I know you're thinking, oh yeah, I do remember that actually. That's Bobby Naiman. Oh, solid. But yeah, it just goes to show, for me, that, like, some of the best, and I think, when I did the documentary with my good friend Hayden, and I talked about arcades and playing coin ops, and Hayden said, like, some of the best arcade experiences that he had were playing not in arcades. Do you know what I mean? We're playing in chip shops and video rental stores, and do you know what I mean? Like shops like that. And this is exactly that. I never played this game in an arcade. I played it in a chip shop, and then later on I played it in a cinema, I seem to remember, when I was like 16-ish, I seem to remember. And do you know what? I came back to it. No, maybe 14-ish. Yeah, 14-ish. But I remember coming back to it and playing it, and still thinking at the time, I still know how to do this. I remember putting 1 credit in and getting to like the 4th level, and still kind of just, I don't know, just remembering it. And the thing is as well, like I've put a lot of time into a lot of clears. Like last week's took me ages. I'm not gonna say this one didn't take me that long, but like it all just came flooding back to me when I started putting some time into this, and it's just so worth it. Like these games are just absolutely phenomenal, and they're the kind of the building blocks in our head really. When we look at all these different things, we think about gaming kind of journeys and gaming experiences and stuff that we love as kind of games. And there's always games that you played that maybe a load of people didn't play. There's always things that are just, like I say, like a game like this that was just in a chip shop in a sleepy little town on the walk home from school. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just, yeah, it sounds like a Pet Shop Boys song, but that's exactly what it was. See, that was the run I was on about. But yeah, this is exactly what this was. It was just a game that me and my mate Ian played all the time, and to this day, it still kind of makes me think of him when I play this, and it's cool, man, because he's a good human being, and like yeah, we were friends for kind of a long time, and he moved, he lives abroad now, and he's doing really well, and kind of I'm happy for that, and the good thing is that like those kind of memories of that time come back to me every time I play this. Every time I play Captain America and the Avengers, I just think of standing up in a chip shop. Do you know what I mean? And just trying to get past the bits that we continually got stuck on. It's just golden. Do you know what I mean? It's just you don't realize as a kid that sense of innocence that you've got like mentally. Once it's gone, it's just gone, full stop. Do you know what I mean? And you moan about the fact that like your tea wasn't ready. Do you know what I mean? You moan about the fact that, I don't know, like you played football at dinner time and didn't score or something, without really having, do you know what I mean, the bliss of kind of the weight of the bliss of that ignorance kind of taken off you, really. And it's only when you kind of grow up and you think to yourself, and you've actually got real stuff to worry about, that you do think to yourself, God almighty, I would give absolutely anything to all I had to worry about was if I had enough 20p's to, do you know what I mean, to beat Juggernaut or whatever. And that's that's the glorious part of all this. Never did see a 4-player machine though. Which I imagine would be a load of fun actually. I've seen the pictures of the cabinets and stuff, but yeah, machines I never did see. Well, I love how they all stand like that. That has been, just so much fun. I've really enjoyed doing this video. There'll be, I'm not going to say about Saturday content and whether there will be or not, because obviously, as you might imagine, during said summer break, I'm pre-recording a load of this stuff, so I'm trying to get everything up and running. So I'll keep you up to speed on the Twitter and the Facebook and all the other stuff as and when bonus content will be coming and what's going to happen. The long play I think is probably going to be nearer the middle of the season, and it is going to be quite a big one. So I am still working on it, but it is going to. You will get some news on that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those games that if you haven't played it, then dig it out, because it is all kinds of fun, and it is one of those ones. Especially if you dig out a 4-player version, get a couple of pads round. Do you know what I mean? Get some mates round and try and have a crack 4-player, because yeah, this is all kinds of good. Right, and I am going to go, because it is currently about 28 degrees, and I feel like I'm going to die. It's not going to stop me drinking tea, though, and figuring out what else there is to be, because, I mean, what else is there to do on a Tuesday night as I'm recording this? You take very, very good care of yourselves, and I shall speak to you good people soon.